Hello everybody, this is Maniac4Bricks. I'm here once again with another LEGO haul, and this time I'm standing behind the camera instead of sitting behind the camera. It's a lot to clean up around here, as you can tell. So, I have a bunch of things for today, and I'm gonna start things off with a wonderful gift from my dad that when I met up with him recently, he found this, thought of me, and I did not already have this, and I was curious about it, so I'm gonna have a little Technic set to build. I don't usually build a lot of Technic, but I do love the smaller ones. It's always a win for me if you have a smaller set that looks cool but also still functions. I love the Technic sets of like $10 or $20 or so, and unfortunately some of them that are usually around $20 are now up to like 35, even if they're newer sets themselves, but like the same concept. I'm like, really? So this is really cool. It's a smaller offering, this little hot rod, and I think this would actually fit very well with something else we'll talk about later in the video. And I don't think I mentioned it another time, but you know, it'll come up eventually. So there was something else in the haul video I will mention about this once again. Next item I have here is from Facebook Marketplace. And you guys know I like my LEGO Friends sets every so often. So with this, ooh, I didn't look further into the bag. Wow, they actually gave me more stuff than I thought they did. So, so I had seen this listing for a used Heart Lake High School, and it was only $10. I thought, okay, even if it's incomplete or missing figures or anything like that, the base of the school is there, and that's still worth $10 to me. And it looks really good. Like, I love this architecture, and I don't usually say that for a lot of LEGO sets, especially on the smaller side or playset side. But this is really cool architecture. I would love to remodel this thing a little bit, like modifying it basically from a high school into other kinds of buildings. I do realize that by this version, or this one that was built, some of the windows are facing opposite ways. Might correct that. Might be the first thing I'll correct more than anything. But yeah, it looks very nice having all these little rooms inside to, you know, all different kinds of activities. You got a bathroom in here, got a lunch room down there. So yeah, I like this all the way around, even in used condition. It wasn't a friend set that was on my wanted list for a very long time or anything like that, but it was something that I had seen in passing at other high schools from LEGO Friends I've seen before. But this one, again, struck me, especially with its, you know, this presence in the front. And there are instructions included with this big, beefy instruction booklet to go with it. I don't know if it's been scanned yet, but I'll try that sometime later. And what I found surprising in the bag that they gave me everything from this Facebook Marketplace listing, it has mini dolls, it has accessories, it has a few other small builds. So I'm happy with that because I was not expecting to get those things. Was not, you know, going in, paying for it, expecting those. I like, even if I didn't get them, I wouldn't worry about it. It's not like, oh, I have to complete the set now. It's like, no, I'm still just going to use it as essentially a prop for future videos in a bunch of different ways. So this looks great, having all these other parts to it. Got the basketball hoop. We've got a couple of figures. I think there might even be more figures here than in the set was, you know, supposed to have. So that's even better, you know? Bonus stuff of sorts. Well, bonus or replacement, I'm not sure. Because I'm looking at the, I'm trying to look at the instructions themselves, and it looks like it is missing some figures. Like, this one is probably the one that's most directly from the set. Then the other ones looks like they might be in other sets. I don't recall if I have any of these children mini dolls from Friends yet, or other Friends-like themes. but that's cool to have as well. Always a win when you get the male figures because they don't come up often, but they have cool styles. So this was a good turnout, but that's not all. there's more. I mentioned there was going to be more. So I just mean this is a good turnout for this set itself. $10 for all of these things was better than I expected it to be. So I'm just gonna scoot this over to the side where we can make some room for the next part, which also had some trading, kind of like we talked about last time. I had traded a couple of sets that I no longer was interested in, a couple of figures that I didn't really have anything to use with them. So that all combined led to this next part. So starting off with the Hot Rod. This is where the Technid set comes into play, because now these two can pair up nicely with each other, and the Downtown Diner that I own. I still have to build it, but, stylish cars nonetheless. A little car show kind of vibe going on. So, happy for that, because I had never gotten the Blue Fury or the Hot Rod, but I'm, happy to see that it hasn't really increased in the aftermarket as far as pricing goes. And cool torso on that guy. I think it might have been from Hidden Side. I don't remember if I have the minifig that has that torso. Looks similar. I do have all the Hidden Side sets, except for 1 or 2 polybags. So it might be there. Next up, to follow up the recent Spider-Gwen figure that I got not too long ago. More Spider-Verse figures! I did mention before, I saw Brand New Day. I actually saw it twice. And I was inclined to get some more Spider-Verse figures. I don't plan to get the entire series or anything like that. But I do like these figures in particular. They have very good parts, very useful parts. I think this one has very resourceful parts for other minifigures. And, the baby carriage is cool on its own. I might have that in 1 or 2 other sets. Maybe in a different color, or if that. So, this looks great together. And we'll definitely mix in with other Spider figures and Spider sets in general. Like, from any Marvel property, from any of the Lego sets that have come before it. And last, but not least, is a set that wasn't exactly on my radar, but I was in a big Dino phase last year, getting a lot of sets from Dino Attack, Dino Island, maybe even Jurassic Park or Jurassic World, especially Jurassic World, actually, now that I think about it. So this particular wave of dinosaurs, I don't think I really looked into that much. I remember that they were available, and I passed up on them thinking, well, maybe sometime later, but I don't have a lot of draw to it right now. Dino Attack was the main thing that I was going for, and it still is. On the main channel, I'm planning to make a retrospective about Dino Attack. And that comes with a lot of difficulties, because I want to also illustrate about Dino 2010 and compare between them. There's also alternate builds for each of the Dino Attack vehicles. There's combiner models between the Dino Attack sets. And there's a couple of extra, bits and bobs of merchandise or just external information from the magazines and catalogs that I also want to cover all together as well. So that all leads to this retrospective particularly taking a bit longer than normal. And there's other ones that I've also been planning, like Island Extreme Stunts has been in the works for almost 2 years now. But again, with alternate builds, it takes a bit longer trying to, build everything, but also film everything and photograph everything. So that's why those series have not even started yet, as much as I've been ambitious to start them. But I say all of that because the set we have last but not least is a Dino set. But from 2012, not the 2010, or not even, I mean, there wasn't 20, you know what I mean? So, this released in 2012. There was none that released in 2010. That was the alternate version of Dino Attack that released in 2005. This set in particular, Ocean Interceptor, caught my eye. I was like, okay, I remember that being a unique style of set. And I thought at one point it was like hard to find or exclusive, maybe store exclusive or something like that. And as I delved a little deeper before actually acquiring it, I realized, you know what? There's a bunch of good talking points all throughout this thing. And how I could compare it with other dino themes and other dinosaurs and so on. So I was inclined to actually pick this thing up as well during the trade. So, I do have other Dino 2012 sets. I don't remember where they are right now, but I've owned them before. Usually the smaller ones. This might be the largest one I have currently, and there weren't a lot in the wave in particular. I don't plan to do a retrospective, per se, with this set, but I at least want to acknowledge this was something that stands out from other Dino waves and even other Dino themes, whether or not they're licensed. Oh yeah, I also got the instructions here too. Forgot that part. So, I'd say there's a pretty good amount of stuff for this haul. And as I mentioned, it's coming into future content. Couple of things to build or rebuild, because I have to check if there's all the parts with this thing particularly. It felt like it was missing something, but I couldn't tell just from glancing at it. There is also another minifigure in here. He's just coddled up in the back currently. And yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to building the hot rods, which it's funny, they're both called hot rods. I didn't even think about that before. And adding them with the Downtown Diner, which should also be built. So I'm sure that'll come up sometime later. I would love to do some sort of quote-unquote car show video. I had in the works a year ago, maybe almost 2 years ago, for a LEGO video that was sort of in the car show style of like some of my favorite LEGO vehicles. And even some that like I would love to see Speed Champions edition of it, something of that scale, of that building techniques, and so on. That video, I don't think I have finished it yet. I know I've scripted it. I've taken a lot of photos for it. But by this point, I'm almost thinking of like, maybe I could tweak it a bit more. Or even morph it into another video itself with like a car show theming to it. I like classic cars, or, this kind of vintage styles of cars, especially recreated in LEGO. And some of the cars from the Speed Champions video apply to this. So, again, we'll see how things turn out on the main channel. Can't promise when it's going to happen, but I'm hoping for the best with it. So thank you for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Do you have any interest in classic cars in general, outside of just LEGO versions of classic cars? And what do you think? What are your favorite versions of LEGO dinosaurs over the years? I'll talk to you again later, hopefully sometime soon, outside of these LEGO hauls. And like I said, if I don't have one next week, it just might happen, Like, I'm not expecting this to be a weekly series, per se, but I still want to have some sort of content to fill in, whether for Wednesdays or Fridays or something like that. I have a lot of videos in the works, LEGO or not. So, hopefully we'll have something else coming up real soon. Thanks again for being a part of this, and I'll talk to you later.